Hello and welcome to my first ever unboxing video. Today I will be unboxing the Kickstarter game Half Truth by Ken Jennings and Richard Garfield. Richard Garfield was the creator of Magic the Gathering, as well as several other games such as Netrunner. And Ken Jennings is the 74 day in a row champion of Jeopardy! I never miss a game of Jeopardy! Well, maybe a game, but I try to watch it every night. Love Jeopardy! So I funded the Kickstarter back in, I think, October 2019. And as usual, I think they got much more backers than anticipated on this Kickstarter project. And perhaps we're a bit overwhelmed. It's often the case that Kickstarters take longer than they originally intend to ship out, as was the case here. But with COVID-19 coming around, that wasn't anticipated at all, so obviously that delayed things a bit. Now we got it, so let's get started here. Let me change my camera angle. Okay. Brand new box, fresh from Canada Post. Oh boy. Do a little ASMR tapping. We'll do more of that, don't you worry. It's not an ASMR channel, but we all like to try tapping and all the other senses when something's open. What are you packing peanuts? All right. Okay. Oh boy, I have a lot cleaning up to do. Here we go. Half Truth. Okay. So here's our base game. I don't remember if I ordered any add-ons. Well, looks like I did. So apparently I funded at the level where you get the playing mat. So this shows you where to put question deck and used questions. Got your discard. Little game mat to play on. Fantastic. Alright. Got plastic. Oh, that didn't cut. What the heck? Got the good plastic. Didn't want to ruin the cardboard. Okay. Okay, just kidding. Let's go. Perfect. So we got our instructions. Pretty light. Just a one pager here. Half Truth is a party game for all ages and people, where the book smart and the street smart have an equal chance of winning. We're all smarter than we think. Okay, so we've got our tokens here, point tokens. Gonna get to punch those out. And our question card. So from what I understand in the Kickstarter instructions, each card has multiple options to, basically multiple choice question for every round with multiple answers possibly. So the A, B, C, D, I believe, are the answer options there. Okay. Alright. Looks like a, I'll have to read the instructions here. Token verb. These are the round trackers. Which round you in? Cards of different categories. Different thickness. These are, oh, Kickstarter exclusive cards. Perfect. By Richard Garfield and Ken Jennings. Cards. Oh, they're numbered. So there's card 5 and 4. Right. Got your answer chips and your player pawns. So there's your pawns and there's your chips. Okay, so question. So that would be the face up. You don't want people to know what you're answering, so that's the question mark. But then you flip it over and it's F. In this case, you pick F or C. Okay. So looks like, yeah, D, F, A, and B. So those are all blue. So it looks like the person with the blue pawn would get A through F of the blue answer chips. So that makes sense. So it has multicolored chips. Great. And a dice. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4. But then on this D6, you got a dos. Got an exclamation upside down and right side up exclamation mark. 2. And you've got a 1 plus. All right, so that's what's in our box. I've got 5 stacks of regular thickness cards and 1 pack of thin cards for the exclusive Kickstarter. Lots of packing peanuts, chips, tokens, question cards, round trackers, instructions on the back and on paper, and a game mat, which is just the funding level I was at. Well, can't wait to play this game. I love trivia. Our standard go-to at home is Trivial Pursuit, of course. And sometimes we don't even need the box. We just sit at our own desks, our own computers, and pull out a trivia card and read it. And that's just something to pass the time. So I'll get the tokens all punched out, and then maybe we'll show you around a gameplay. How's that? Thanks, everyone. And if all goes well with the video edit, we can show you a little bit of the gameplay as well. Thanks. Bye for now. Okay, here we have our game set up. So we have our round tracker, our player pawns, our area where we put the question cards, and our deck with the card concealer on top so you can't see the one on top. So the idea behind the question cards is that 3 of them are correct and 3 of them are incorrect, and you want to guess the correct ones and not guess any incorrect ones, although there's an exception to this, which we'll get to. Works by Mark Twain, So you can either bet just one if you think you know just one of them is correct. That's a conservative play. Or you can bet two, which is doubling up. Or you can go all in and try to guess all three correct ones. Now, if you get any incorrect, then you don't get to advance your pawn, and you don't get any victory points. So that's a bold move. But if you get all three correct, then you advance and you get 2 victory points. And at the end of the game, the player with the most victory points wins. So that is a good strategy if you know the answers. You also get victory points at the end of each round for advancing your pawn on the tracker. So a conservative play that gets you to move a space without getting the victory points can still pay off in the end, because if you get here first, then you add up, you get some victory points and you advance to the next round. I'm just going to bet 2. Okay. Say D, B. Oh. All right. Well, let's see if we're correct. We both guessed the same too. Not Huckleberry Finn all grown up, but a tramp abroad was correct. So if you get even one wrong, you don't advance, you don't get any victory points. Too bad. Oh yes, we should go over the dice rolls. How far do you advance your pawns? Well, you roll the dice, and the number you roll on the dice, so this time it was 1, is how many spaces you advance if you get your questions right. So if, for example, I had only guessed D but not B, I would have moved 1 point. Only getting 1 right, I wouldn't have got any victory points, but I still would have been ahead on the round tracker. Let's roll it again, see what we get. This one is amped. So in this case, it's still just advancing 1 space, but the victory points you earn are doubled. So if you bet on 2, let's say B and D, and B and D were both correct answers, you would advance 1 point, and normally you would get 1 victory point, but if it's amped, you double, so you get 2 victory points. And if you go all in and bet on 3 and get all 3 right, during a normal number, you would get 2 victory points, but when it's amped, you would get 4 victory points. So let's play around with amped. The largest moons of each planet. So let's pair. I'm just going to do 1. Ooh, one of us is wrong. There's only 1 Jupiter. All right, let's see. All right, so I got Ganymede correct, and you got Phobos, but not Io. So my opponent gets to advance no spaces, gets no victory points for that. And I got mine correct, so I get to go 1 point, 1 space. Now, if you only bet 1 and get the 1 right, you don't actually get any victory points. Okay, now I'm just going to roll again. It's supposed to be a roll for each game, but just to show the different, I'll just put it on. Dos. So I think when you get the Spanish too, it means you have to play the hand in Spanish, right? It becomes mitad de la verdad. Okay, no, this is half lie. So you actually want to pick the wrong answers when you roll this side of it. So let's see. Ooh, left-handed presidents. There we go. My opponent here is left-handed, so that's apropos. But now, since we want to actually pick the wrong answers, we want to pick non-left-handed presidents, so right-handed presidents. Wasn't even a president. Okay, I think I'll guess 2 of them. Okay, ready?
Mhm.
Okay. So we want the incorrect. Oh, right. Benjamin Franklin would be incorrect. Good answer. I was. All right. So, either way, we're both right here. So the two Roosevelts were right-handed. Plus, Benjamin Franklin wasn't a president. So, great. We both got 2. So, since the die is actually 2, you advance 2 spaces for getting all your answers correct. And we get 1 victory point. There you go. Okay. So you keep advancing your pawns in that fashion until somebody gets to the end, and then you switch out the rounds. So just to show you, you can flip over the round 1, and then it's round 2 on the back, and there's a tracker for round 3. When you get to the end of round 3, you add up all your victory points. So what do you do at the end of the round to get victory points?
So you get victory points equal to the farthest space that you've advanced for that round.
Okay, so if you're on the blue area with the number 3, you get 3 victory points?
3 victory points.
Okay.
But because you didn't make it to number 4, you also get 3 victory points.
Let's look at 3. Okay. Yeah, and this is assuming there's a third player who, reached the end. Well, great. That's Half Truth. Very fun game. Can get wild with all the obscure questions on some of these cards. Thanks for tuning in, and have a nice day. Thanks.